Guys, it's me again, Orc Slayer. What if where we last left off? Let's see. Checking. Ugh. Where we last left off, Belle and them pretty much got hired by Melissa and her father to guard their supply warehouse. They helped defend against a pirate attack, and that's pretty much it. We got jobs and are waiting. Also, they got Uraraka to be part of the Onyx Centuries. Yay. To continue forward with this, what's happening now is that, well, they're all chilling there. They're all just like hanging out, just thinking, it's been like a month or so, like a couple months. Uraraka has settled in nicely to her role as the biotic weapon, as the more, pretty much, primarily a biotic weapon, or biotic one of the group. The other ones have biotic, like Kirishima has a barrier, which allows him to set up with his biotic abilities to like set up a nice little energy shield around him, you could say. And then yeah, pretty much that's it. Yeah. Well, yeah. As then she has throw, slam, and a few other abilities. Kirishima and Ida are pretty much frontline soldiers. Same thing with Bakugo and Deku. Belle and Kaminari are the snipers, which they employ other tactics. Like for instance, let's see, Kaminari has abilities to overload some people's shields. And then Belle pretty much has the ability, is like looking for ways to acquire invisibility cloak to make his sniping more preferable or more advanced. Along with that, we skip to another thing. It's like, in recent news, it's apparent the Quarian flotilla has finally come. For you, those who don't know, the Quarians pretty much had their homeworld taken from them, from robots they designed. And eventually they tried to destroy them, but the robots destroyed them first. Yeah, it was the whole thing. But the Quarians pretty much all live in space now on ships. In this case, the one that will be following, Mei Hatsume, will be exiled. As I will explain right now, it's like, it's a peaceful day, everything's going fine. It's like, yeah, few of our things are going alright. But as in there's another explosion, as it's like, May. It's just like, there's a thing on the wall. Mei Hatsume's done something again. As when they go in there, it's pretty much a severely damaged room. As she's like, well, that could have gone better. She's shaking herself off. It's like, May, what is this? As it's just like, oh, I was inventing. It's like, no, don't tell us. It's better if we don't know. Fix it now. And then, I don't know. It's like, you should be really wise enough. No. You should. I wish we'd send her on her pilgrimage already to like just get her out of here. And she's like, what was that? He's like, nothing. As they pretty much 0 days without an incident. Oh, God damn it, May. As the captain's pulling his hair, he's like, why? She almost caused another explosion. That's it. As then he pretty much says, as the pilgrimages are about to start, May is sent on hers a bit early, you could say. Having her being, I'll say, 18, I'll say is around her age. Yeah, decent enough. 18 or so. Sorry. That being said, they're pretty much around that planet, and they pretty much kick her off at that point. They send her on her way, and then it's like, alright, let's get the hell out of here. As the flotilla pretty much starts mining operations to help get more mining operations, as they're sent down to the planet. May is eager to get her start. She starts wandering around looking for things to help. starts interviewing at tech companies, but she's pretty quickly shoot off, getting that old, pretty much not being wanted anywhere, being judged quite fairly, till to a point she's about to get jumped by a couple of gang members, where she's like, leave me alone, as she tries to use a few of her gadgets that work pretty well, but they're pretty much about to be like right on top of her, as then, surprise, surprise, it's like, hey, what's going on down there? As a few figures approach, as it's like, step away from the Quarian. As it's like, who are you? It's like, names, none of you, we're part of the Onyx Sentries. Now, if you don't mind, back away from the Quarian. We won't ask twice. As it's like, oh, really? As one of them tries to rush, as then immediately shot. It's like, I told you once, now back off. As a large figure with a hump is looking at them, as it's like, alright, let's go. As they drag their friend's body away. As they approach this Quarian, as it's like, what, are you okay? She's like, yeah. She's like, oh god, no seals, thank god, no seals are punctured. As it's like, seems to be a problem. It's like, oh, yeah, it's just that, oh, you're one of those, oh, yeah. As she points out as they're like, oh, yeah, you're from the flotilla that just came by, right? As she's like, yeah. So, what? Are you some kind of list runner? Or she's like, no, I'm on my pilgrimage. As the three figures look to each other, the fuck is a pilgrimage? I thought pilgrimages for like those religious types or something. No, they like taking on a journey from one place to another, I thought. So like, what are you doing here? She's like, the pilgrimage pretty much allows us to prove ourselves to a captain, so that way we may join their crew. And we gotta bring something of value. It's just like, okay. Well, good luck with that, and try to stay away from this area of town. She's like, if I may ask, do you guys know where a tech company may be hiring? I've looked all over the other places, but they seem not to want one. As then the three look to each other, it's like, what about medicine? Maybe. How good are you with tech? She's like, on the flotilla, I was notorious for making inventions that were quite handy. I even made a few small mechs that helped around. As like, she's like, that one got me some real fire from the higher ups. Like, we could use someone like that. Yeah. As in, it's like, follow us. As like, who are you guys? Bakugo, Deku, Kirishima. It's like, oh, okay. As they're moving, as it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a late night tonight, isn't it? It's like, yeah, some of those gangers have been trying to get at us again, but, as she's like, what seems to be the problem? They explain, oh, we're security for a small company. For a small company. And they have trouble with gang members breaking into their warehouse. We pretty much have taken over defense, but it's been a real hazard, especially since we don't have that many people. We've been thinking about acquiring some mechs, but the mechs that you can buy around here are complete shit, to be honest. We would see if we could modify them to be much better, but none of us are that handy with skills, and those guys don't seem like to want to know how to edit them for combat. She's like, oh, I could if you want. As it's like, we'll check with the bosses first, alright? Pretty much introduced her. She's like, alright, hired. As they pretty much try to get her start off, as they say, first manner of business, we're going to be ordering some mechs in with our personal money. They're going to be arriving here in a week or so. Until then, she's yours to deal with. As they're like, alright. As the May starts working to her heart's content, upgrading, you could say, fixing, making things, maintenance and such. As then the week goes by, they've been attacked a few more times, but every time they've held them off with either explosives, gunfire, or more gunfire. As they formed a pretty formidable defense, eventually those mechs come in, as it's like, so who wants to, as they're like, oh wait, yeah, the girl. As Deku, Bako, and Kirishima say, as they pretty much call her up, saying, you say you knew a thing or two about mechs. Would you be interested by any chance? As she's like, oh, would I? As she pretty much arrives there within 30 minutes. As it's like, yeah. As they explain what needs to happen, they're like, alright, well, we've acquired at least 30 mechs to assist with keeping everything quite calm around here, to ensure that we don't get killed due to lack of men or anything. As it's like, see, what we need you to do is that we're gonna paint them our colors, alright? But what we need you to do is to upgrade their combat systems and their own weaponry. Their weaponry sucks. She's like, how many did you get again? It's like, we got like 30 or so. Shouldn't be too much, right? And she's like, oh no, it shouldn't take that long. As then she gets to work. It takes her like 10 minutes or so to get through one of them. She's like, don't worry, I'm getting close. As in, with every time they get a mech down, they pretty much, well, actually, she also like helps them become like stronger and such, like actual reliable soldiers with enhanced combat AI or VI, virtual intelligence. As then they are pretty much given command to, like, since there's 30 of them and there's 7 people, each person gets like 6, well, not 6, but 5 to command. No, wait, not, there's 7 people. It's 30 mechs. I'd say all of them typically, get around, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. 2 of them don't get, like Kirishima and Bell. Well, I guess Bell would be fine. No, he's typically up in the sniper's nest, so. Difficult. Gives tactical overlay from everywhere. So I'll say Ida gets 6 mechs. Kirishima gets 6 mechs. Deku gets 6 mechs. Bakugo gets 6 mechs. Pretty much Ochako gets 6 mechs in a way. Well, I'll say not Ochako, but Bell gets 6 mechs, so that's 4 people, and that's 24. And then the rest go to, let's see. So, and the rest go to, well, they split up the rest of the 6 to go between the remaining, so that way it'll be safe. Because Weasel, as you would know, is kind of a coward. He doesn't like to get into the fighting. Though he does shoot a couple of shots every now and then. Like, he won't, like, be out there commanding troops. The rest of them don't trust him with that. They pretty much leave that up to, like, the other ones. So, as they're all pretty much spray painted and given certain markings to, like, let them know that, oh, this one's part of Deku's group and such. As they've, again, fortified the warehouses, or this warehouse, to be very strong. As there's now like 37 people defending it. As it's approaching nighttime, May eventually like has to leave. She's like, I gotta go, see you guys. As it's like, hang on, as they pretty much call Kaminari down. It's like, Kaminari, escort May here back to the tech. Sorry. Escort her back to the company, please. As it's like, alright, you got it, boss. As they escort her back, it's like, I feel like it's gonna be a stronger night than usually would be tonight, guys, alright? It's like, you got that right. I feel like it's just waiting. As in, it's like 30 minutes later. As in, Kaminari's like, alright, May, have fun. As it's just immediately on the comms, it's like, Kirishima, you need to get back here now. As then it's just several gunshots are heard in the back. It's like, what's going on? It's like, we got attacked by a seemingly powerful gang here. They're calling themselves the Bronze something or another. I just heard them say, this is for the bronze, and then the guy got shot. So anyways, we're doing fine here. Oh, hey, is May right there? She's like, yeah. As they're like, hey, May, yes? It's like, the mechs are working beautifully. Not a single one's that's gone down. And since they're more heavily armored, they're actually doing much better. As it's like, you hear Bell in the background shout out, that's like, 17! As he's like, oh, damn it. As then everyone's just like, come on, fight harder. As Bell's group is like defending like a corner. As it's just like on the right. As they're all focusing and making sure everything's suppressed. It's like, oh, we got a couple of Krogans sneaking around the back. Baku goes like, I got him. Ida's like, we're securing the left flank. And Kirishima's like, me and my bots got 6 on this flank. And Deku's like, we've taken out 20 so far. These idiots just keep on coming. And Kaminari's like, I'm on my way. As he starts rushing, he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's just like another few more explosions. As they're like, well, that was pretty dangerous. As it's like, oh wait, I think I see. It's like as when Kaminari gets back there, by the time he gets back there, the fighting's over. Yeah. As it's like, it took 30 minutes. And how many are here? It's like, oh, there's over 90 guys. 90 people are gone. Thanks to 37 people. 36. It's like, yeah, good job, Uraraka. I saw how you crushed 3 of those guys with a barrel. She's like, yeah, it's like, hey, man, guys, come on, lay off. She isn't as used to killing people as we are. And she's like, oh, it's fine. You know, on my planet, this happened once or twice. Like, oh, really? Why didn't you think about joining a merc group beforehand? People love biotics. They're so deadly. Help makes things a lot easier. Plus, you don't have to waste bullets. Like, yeah. These guys apparently come from the Bronze Falcons. Or the Bronze Falcons, yeah. Weird name, but, you know. Who cares? As then they pretty much get in contact with Melissa and her father. It's like, so, we got a question. As they're like, oh yes, continue speaking. Well, you said before that other gangs have tried and are in the area. Do you know of a gang called the Bronze Falcons? They're like, oh no. It's like, we'll be there in a minute. Well, we'll be there by tomorrow. You guys keep guard. Unfortunately, we're keeping the place on lockdown just in case they try to raid here. Thanks to May's effort, she's actually upgraded our own security bots around here. So we're all well protected, very well. As it's like, oh, well, that's good then. As then, like they said, the next day, as it's like, so, as they like say, let us be upfront with you about one thing. Due to someone, as Mr. Shield, not Melissa isn't there, he's like, due to some unfortunate circumstances, I was forced to partner with some unsavory characters. It's like, oh no. And they had a deal that I would give them tech in exchange for them not to attack our thing. And it's like, and you canceled the deal. And they attacked the warehouse, correct? It's like, yes, I thought with you guys here it'd be much safer now and they would think twice. But apparently I was wrong. So, well, this is gonna be a hassle. It's like, we're probably gonna need more mechs than just 30. As it's like, you kidding with these upgrades? It's like, yeah, but we ran out of ammo last time. Mr. Shield, we're gonna need some construction workers hired. We're gonna be building essentially a barracks right here, or an armory, underground armory. It's like, oh really? Yep. It's like, I guess I'll be fine. As they get in contact, it's like, yeah, we need some some people, as then they get everything orchestrated, and a month goes by. A very large armory is constructed that's pretty much an underground base where they store the mechs. Well, where they store they actually store over 30 backup mechs just in case they need to activate them, have them rush out. They have guns and heavy weapons down there. Like I said, they had like pretty much everything from before they came there. And May now has settled in quite nicely. She actually asked to like stay there one night to see like what it was like, in the sense that she wants to be there just in case the mechs need repairing and such, and see if she could do better, in the sense that if her programming is flawed in any sort of the way, because she wants them performing at tip-top shape. It's like, well, we wouldn't mind that. So as one night she stuck around, they like gave her like 6 mechs to guard her, activating the like remainder from the armory. As it's like, as she's about to go look outside, one of them stops her. May Hatsume. Or May Hatsume, yeah. Vas Nostromo, or whatever the hell. Which is like, the Koreans pretty much go by, like, they have their first name, I believe, then they have their family name, then they have the ship that they serve on, which has a Vas whatever ship name. So I guess May Hatsume Vas Kriegsling. There we go. Kriegsling. There we go. Nice name, I guess. Weird name. As then she's like, yes, I need to get, please watch from the monitors to ensure maximum safety. As it's like, fine. Thank you. As then they go back to guarding, as she's like, alright. She deactivates them and then like goes out to get a peek. As she then sees Deku pretty much shoulder bash one guy and like finish him off on the ground. It's like, Max, you need to get into place. Go, 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 go. Heavy weapons are inbound. As then then a grenade comes flying by, blows up right next to the mechs as they were taking cover. The mechs just shrug off the shrapnel and keep on firing. As it's like, hey, Bell, Kieran, Kaminari, you two need to focus on a rocket team over here. As it's like, got it, focusing on the rocket team. As it's like, it's like, oh, it seems they're trying to get underground. As it's like, Ida, your team's over there, deal with it. As she sees them as they're tearing apart this assault. As by the end of it, she's seen how quickly and efficient the Onyx sentries like to roll. As she actually questions she questions one of them, like if she could receive training to like make sure in case anything ever does happen, she can defend herself. It's like, you don't know how to use a gun? It's like, it was never really an issue. As like, hey, Ida, do you have any experience training new recruits? As like, oh yeah, I do. It's like, okay. As then he pretty much starts teaching her how to use a gun. As in, Uraraka's just like, man, this is starting to get annoying. We keep on getting attacked by these bronze eagles. It's like, yeah, it's annoying, but hey, what are you gonna do? Ask them nicely to stop. Besides, we're making a lot of large strides here. You gotta be kidding me. As then Bakugo starts to act up, as it's like, Bakugo, you okay? As he's like, I'm fine. As he like headbutts something. Whoa, buddy, calm down. What's wrong? He's like, oh, I think it's that time. Time what? He's like, oh, my dad and brothers told me about the right of what? Or what? Adulthood. As it's like, wait, is this puberty or something? I have no clue. As it's like, oh, Krogan age much faster than you. We grow much taller than you in a shorter span of time. Been together like 4 years or so. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like around a few years or so. As then he explains that he needs to go to Tuchanka to face the right. As he's like, whoa, you're just gonna like ditch us for a few days? He's like, typically I'll do it with a Krant, but I have none. He's like, wait, what's the Krant? A group willing to fight and die for you. He's like, as Deku and Bell are like, hey bro, what about us? This is like, what? You want to be declared as my Krant? It's like, we've done some pretty crazy things together, so why not? As he's like, oh, fair point. Very well. As they catch a ride to Tuchanka, as they land there to Bakugo, or to the clan where Bakugo would be at. As he lands, it's just like, so what do we do now? As it's like, we must speak to the clan chief. As then they move, as Bakugo's clan is called, what was a name that I haven't heard from Mass Effect that I could use? There's not on. I'll just call it Clan Glodnock. Clan Glodnock. Gadnock. Clan Gadnock. There we go. Bakugo. Clan Gadnot, or not Rex. Gadnot Bakugo. Guess that's good enough for me. As they make their way to the chief, as the chieftain's like, who are these two? As he like sniffs, he's like, oh, you got the sniff of Bruco or whatever your brother was. He's like, haven't seen him a while. Where's he? He's dead. He's like, figured it would only be a matter of time. So, what do you want? As he's like, oh, it's that time. Speak with the shaman. As they're like, very well. As he makes his way to where the shaman was, as he gets the whole thing explained to him, as it's like, very well, as he's like, so, where's your Krant? As they're like he's like, these two are my Krant. It's like, 2 humans. Hard to believe that. As then the shaman starts to criticize. Well, and this is an open area. As they start to criticize Bakugo for having a couple of humans be the ones that would back him and that he would die for too. As then Deku steps forward. Watch what you say, old man. Don't care if you're a shaman or if you were the clan leader. Watch what you say. Well, actually, he doesn't just say that. He actually also headbutts him. Learning that quite low, it's quite enjoyable. As he gets headbutted, he's like, you dare. As he starts bellowing in a laugh, as everyone saw what Deku just did to the shaman. As he's like, it seems the humans understand. Very well. As then they get sent up, as it's like, you must survive until you're ready. As he's like, alright, let's get this over with. As then everything just starts. A bunch of Varen, which are like pretty much like similar to the wolf of their world. It's not furry, it's kind of scaly, looks like a lizard. It has fangs. As they come rushing at them in like little packs. It's just like couple on your right, couple on your left. As they survive through the trials. A Varen tries to jump on Bakugo's back at one point, but Deku pretty much charges and body smashes one. As Bell is pretty much like, hey, behind you, Deku, as he saved him from getting jumped on by 2 that were gonna jump on him. It's like, alright, what's next? As they do go through the rest of the trial facing everything. At the very end, they survive a Thresher Maul, which is pretty much a leveled up ground worm that has acid spitting. Yeah. They survived that for a long enough period of time to where it's like, alright, we lived. Actually, we drove it off. We didn't kill it, but we did enough damage to it. Oh, that was annoying. Hopefully that will be the last of that. As then when they finally get done with it, they're allowed back into the nice little safety of the hole. As then they approach the clan shaman and are pretty much, you are clan Gadnock. Gadnock, there we go. Gadnock Bakugo. Welcome. And it's like, you may now join the army. Serve under a battle master and own property. This is like, very well, if that is the fate. As then he goes on to explain that he will be leaving now. It's like, very well. Let's get back home and keep on defending our place from idiots, from those stupid bronze falcons. As then the chief hears this bronze falcons, as he's like, yeah, it's like they've been a pain in our side for some of our clan. Tell me, you have a beef with them? We are hired to protect a tech company's supplies. They raid us every night. Every time they send their men in droves and we slaughter them all. It's like, ugh. Then how about this? As he speaks with a few of the Krogan that actually have a beef with the whole Bronze Falcons. And he talks about how these Krogan right here, they're pretty young. They're like pretty much just gone through the rite. And he talks about how they want to join the army, but there aren't many warriors to fight around here. So under the supervision of you three, they'll be allowed to come with you to fight, to get some experience before they return home. As it's like, do you accept this? As it's like, As the three of them talk, it's like, oh, so you three are in charge of the company defending? As it's like, yes, we founded it. How many do you have? Of flesh and blood? Only 7. But we have enough mechs and such to make up for what we lack in numbers. And we have upgraded them extensively to be proper soldiers. I'd say they could possibly even beat some humans. Proper killing machines. As it's like, then these Krogans will enjoy this greatly. Must learn to work together. So what the clan chief says, as they're provided 15 Krogan. Yeah, that's quite a boost. You each will take 5 under you. It's like, very well, if that's what it must take. As then they move out as they're loaded up. As then they speak with the Krogan, well, the 3 of them speak with them. Your armor, as their armor is kind of orange. They're orange and green armor, as it's like, your armor will be changed. It will be changed to a pitch black, and you would follow our orders. Do we make that clear? As they're speaking on a microphone, essentially. As then, Bell is pretty much, well, Deku is standing in front of his team. Same thing with Bakugo. As a Krogan from Deku's group tries to challenge him, saying that he has no right to tell us what to do. The clan chief may declare him their superior. They have no intention on listening to him. As then Deku pretty much again headbutts him. The Krogan charges him. Deku plants his feet firmly and pretty much throws the Krogan with a lot of strain on himself, not to forget this, over his shoulder, and then pretty much mounts him and just gets his arm, presses it against the neck, and is ready to just start beating on him like you were saying, as he's like, oh, get off me. As Deku stands off him and pretty much picks him up. Now get back in line. I gotta earn your respect, I realize that. But it doesn't matter to me. You'll follow my orders, and if you disobey or try to kill me, I'll kill you first. Some of you say, this doesn't sound like Deku. This is a different universe. Different personalities have to change. So, sorry. Anyways, as then Bell explains that he deals with that none of them have a specific task. Well, Bell does. He's typically a long-range fighter overseeing the entire battlefield. As the Krogan say, oh, so you're like a battle master. It's like, yes. I oversee the entire battlefield and give updates, and I help them with positioning. Deku and Bakugo are like my top frontline fighters. They make sure things get done. It's like, alright. Now, as we continue with this, as they continue to explain everyone in their group, some of the Krogan aren't cheery to work with some Turians, but they'll deal with it. As when they arrive, they pretty much come and see the warehouse that they're building, as the walls are kinda destroyed a bit, and there's some mechs lying around. None of them are theirs though. May has been fixing those babies up, and they actually have a few turrets now. It's like, turning this place into a heavily fortified position now. As in, it's like, oh, Bakugo. As in, they see the group of Krogan behind the three of them. So, who are your friends? It's like, part of Clan Gadlock, whatever. Part of Clan Gadnock. They've been put under our supervision to help them get some battle experience. Ain't that right? As it's like, yeah, you know it. As they all start cheering. Well, tonight they should be coming back. We got hit with a pretty decently sized one, and they actually threw a few more Krogan at us than usual. Is what actually Uraraka explained to them. They were easy dispatched though. No, one slam is all it took, and a few of them were disorientated. The real trouble happened was when one went to a blood rage. That guy took a while to put down, but the rest were pretty easily dispatched. The rest of the guys are on lunch break. Me and May are pretty much the only ones here, and a lot of the mechs are activated. It's like, alright, good. You hear that, boys? Get set up. We'll have you outfitted with new equipment, and we'll spray paint your armor. I was like, alright. As they all get set up and look over the area, as then they bring out new weapons for them. It's like, oh goody. As they all get outfitted with better shotguns, better assault rifles, better pistols, standard stuff. So it's like, alright, so as then they go on to explain their battle style and how everyone works, and that the mechs are pretty much being put under the same supervision as they typically would. As Deku is pretty much holding, as soon as it's like, it's time, wait. As they're all hiding out, it's like, why don't we attack now? Just wait. And then the turrets turn on and start mowing down, start taking down several of the squads of mercs. For some reason, these people are really wanting to get into this place. Pretty much, it's a meat grinder. As when mercs eventually get those turrets down, they charge in just to be found with dozens of Krogan, like a dozen or so of Krogan, dozens of mechs, and a team of snipers and elite soldiers waiting for them. It's a bloody massacre. A few guys are even crushed by the Krogan, as by the end of it, the Krogan are all cheering and everything. It's all happy. As then they talk about how it's like, yeah, this was nice. As the Krogan are actually excited, this was fun. Let's do this again tomorrow night. It's the plan. They they are like all excited. It's like, this is only the first step. Maybe soon we'll get more warehouses and more people that want our protection, which means more money, folks, is what Belle's saying. The more we can get, the more we can provide for the rest of you. Better weapons, better armor. Think about all that, y'all. As they're like, yeah, yeah. As they're all like all cheery and happy. And that's where I'm getting it off on. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Hope y'all continue to enjoy this. I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.